Hi again, and welcome to a Drafthouse Diary for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, when I went to the Alamo Drafthouse at Sloan's Lake to see BEAU is Afraid. Now, I am fine with experimental movies, with surrealism in movies. Some of my favorite things ever done in cinema involve these kinds of styles being away from reality. But they have to be in service of something. Not necessarily a story, at least an idea, something that's being conveyed in a way that persuades me to take it seriously, that persuades me that it is of some importance. And BEAU is Afraid fails on those fronts. It's very ambitious, and I get that. I have no problem with that. But it is so big without having any real focus. And there were so many times when I think the movie would have been well served by ending far earlier than it ended. I get the impression that the director, Ari Aster, had so many things he wanted to cram into this movie. Maybe it should have been more than one movie. Maybe these were not ideas that were all well suited to this particular thing. And yet at the same time, Joaquin Phoenix, in his portrayal of this character, he does give it some continuity. He does give it some stakes in that we are invested in this character early on. I just lose interest in this character at some point. He's playing someone who suffers from debilitating anxiety. And a lot of that, we learn, is tied into his relationship with his mother. And it's clever in that we see so much of this movie from different perspectives, mostly from his perspective. So we get things that are just the world around him, the world that he is afraid of. We see it in the way that he is afraid of it, which it is an absolute riot of chaos and danger and violence and ugliness. And we get a sense early on, this is how he sees the world, and it's terrible. And we can't blame him for being the kind of person he is and reacting to the world in the way he does, if this is the way it appears to him all the time. And yet, a whole movie of that, it's a little bit too much. And the movie does change up a little bit. There is a section in the middle that's heavily featured in the trailer. It's almost featured in the trailers to an extent that almost misrepresents the movie. It's an animated section which is very powerful. It makes a really impressive standalone short. That section of the movie and what bookends it. But the movie is too long. It tries to do too much without doing any of it really successfully. Joaquin Phoenix, he plays this part pretty well. He only has a few notes to play, but he plays them fairly well. Patti LuPone, as his mother, has even fewer notes to play and plays those reasonably well. We've got some pretty good supporting roles by Nathan Lane and Amy Ryan and others. This movie should be better given how much was put into it, given how ambitious it was, given the quality of the performances, but it just falls apart, and it's not a pleasant experience. Not that movies have to be pleasant experiences, but it's not rewarding in any way that I could perceive. So I do not recommend this movie. I guess I'm glad I saw it so that I can form an opinion about it, but it's not a movie I can recommend. Other parts of my visit. The pre-show mirrored the movie in that it had a lot of different parts, some of which were engaging, but it never seemed to have any kind of a theme that got you in the mood for this movie. Not that I can imagine what could do that. But we had like an ad for fondue pots and a music video from the girl group Chai, some things from Patti LuPone. They looked like TikTok videos giving a tour of her basement, and there was also a Patti LuPone musical number. The trailer for Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, same one that I saw in the pre-show for The Crow. I'm not entirely sure why it's here. A weird comedy short about Tricycle Dan, Providence 2021. Sort of a weird cyberpunk thriller comedy thing. Trailer for Misery. I kind of get why you would include a trailer for the movie Misery in the pre-show for this. A bit about Joaquin Phoenix's weird hip-hop phase. A video that gives us instructions on how and why to throw tantrums. Now, I get why some of these would have been selected for of the pre-show for BEAU Is Afraid. They just didn't come together into anything that was engaging or helpful. For food, I had the glazed and infused burger once again. I wanted to try that again before it disappears. I'm wondering now, is it ever going to disappear? The Alamos by me have had the same limited time bonus menu since January. Here it is in April. So I wonder, is there some point at which they're going to change this menu up? Maybe in May when summer movies start to come out. We'll see. The movie didn't make for a great experience, but hey, a visit to the movie theater is still a visit to the movie theater. Thank you very much for joining me for this review. If you liked it, please consider clicking like down below. But most important, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back soon. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.